Hey everybody, it's Nick at Sports Advantage. Last week we talked about fielding out front and fielding with our baseball. We're talking about hitting, fielding, pitching every third week. This week I'm going to be talking about pitching, but I want to recap quickly on what I talked about last week with fielding out front and the importance, okay? So make sure we have our fingertips down, right? When we field out front, a little flat back, okay, with our hands down. Okay, we field from the ground up with our hands out. Okay, that's a couple of quick things, just a little recap. If you want to check that video out, check out last week's video. Okay, but today we're going to talk about hip drive when it comes to pitching. So when I get on the mound, okay, we're trying to drive down the mound when we pitch to the catcher, okay, when we're throwing. So what we're doing is we're trying to get our hips in a loaded position with one of our cheeks, one of our glutes facing down the mound at our catcher. Okay, we're going to lead with that as we drive down the mound. Okay, common mistake here, a lot of kids get up and then they just fall down the mound, okay? When you fall down the mound, you don't produce any power with your back leg, and we need you to produce that power. It's going to help with velocity, with other things, with accuracy, okay? So when you fall, okay, you can't be consistent, okay? Another common mistake that we see is kids pushing too far where they're kind of jumping down the mound. Okay, so we're not jumping when we do hip drive either. Okay, we're pushing off, we're trying to push the rubber backwards. Okay, so we're trying to push backwards to produce the force down the mound with our back leg. So one of the drills that we can do, there's a handful of drills, a bunch of drills actually, that we can do, but one drill that we like to do is hip drives into the wall. Okay, so what we're doing is we're getting our feet set up like we'd be on the rubber, okay, in a stretch position. We're lifting up, okay, and we're leading with that hip. Okay, what we're looking for here is we're not trying to be fully against the wall here, okay, we're leading down the mound. Okay, we're trying to keep our upper half back as well as driving down the mound with our hips. Okay, so when we get up into this position, we're trying to drive, and if you can see here, only my hips are touching, okay, my glute is touching on the wall here. With that being said, when we drive down the mound with our hips, it's creating that velocity like I said before, okay? That's just one drill. There's many different drills. We can do hip walking, we can do hip drive with bands, we can do hip drive on the wall, like I said, we can do it on the mound, we can do it off the mound. There's plenty of different ways we can do it, but we want to be able to work on hip drive so we do it right when we play catch even, okay, when we throw down the mound. So hip drive isn't just important when it comes to pitching, it's important when you play catch. If you're an infielder, outfielder, okay, you're still trying to throw the ball really hard. And to do that, you need to be able to have hip drive there too, okay, if you're coming off a crow hop, if you're throwing across the infield. So we need to be able to do that in both ways, pitching and from a position player aspect. Like I said, next week we will be talking about hitting. Today we talked about pitching. One little thing with pitching with our hip drive. Talked about fielding last week. If you have any questions, please let us know. We'd be happy to talk to you about it.